battle between Tekkadan and the Aryan Hod fleet officially begins in this week's episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, and it seems as if the body count has already begun, because at the end of this week's episode, one of the key characters from the series might have officially been killed. This is not a shocking thing for a Gundam anime series, however, it still manages to hit me right in the feels, as Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, I think, has some of the most developed characters from the entire series. And this week's episode was an adrenaline-pumped Mobile Suit massacre. It was a pretty damn good episode, incredibly satisfying across the board, and this was basically just the beginning of what is going to be the last battle in Iron-Blooded Orphans, and it's satisfying as all hell. The thing that's still most interesting about this episode to me is how you can't really just paint each side as being good or evil. They both really have their very own ideologies that they're going with into this battle, and that's, again, something that is not new for the Gundam anime series, but again, something that I think has always been one of the genius aspects of it. Not everything is always black and white. Case in point, McGillis Fareed. I still can't really get a feel for this guy. He seems to genuinely want to reform Gallarhorn for the better, yet the methods that he uses to actually make that happen are still kind of strange. But he was pretty awesome in this episode when he was actually guiding his forces in the Gundam Bale with its massive golden swords. And even Isarugi got to go in battle with that one mobile suit, which has that ridiculously big-ass sword. And of course this means they're gonna go toe-to-toe with Gaelio himself in his brand new upgraded Gundam Chimaris, which has such an awesome design. Very similar to the original Gundam Chimaris, however, I feel that it's a little more streamlined, a little more smaller, and a lot more faster, not to mention, it's got freaking knee drills. Knee drills! That is right, it will drill you with its knee! It's freaking awesome! Everybody pretty much gets to do just about something really awesome in this episode. I mean, fans of Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex are gonna love the fact that it's just completely tearing up all sorts of Aryan Hod mobile suits, as well as going toe-to-toe with Julieta throughout most of this episode, who seems like she's gonna be one of the main rivals for Mikazuki during this big final battle. The thing that's most disturbing about this episode, though, is how Rustal Elion continues to basically try to just destroy Tekkadan both physically and mentally, and also by using the Dainslife weapons, which are those big freaking giant spears, and he has this entire firing squad which just completely wrecks everything, to the point where it almost seems as if they're going to be defeated in this episode right here. That is until Shino comes up with this really grand plan, that secret weapon which was teased in last week's episode, which is basically a version of the Dainslife, which basically looks like this giant spear weapon, and he's actually going to try and get real close to Rustal's ship so that he can take them out in one shot, but he's going to need some help from all of his crew, and they actually end up using the massive Hotarubi ship as a means of creating like a giant shield for him to hide behind, blast through Rustal's fleet, allowing him to get a nice clean shot. Now, this is the part of the episode where it does start to get slightly predictable, yet there's still a lot of mystery surrounding what happens at the end of this episode, and I'll explain right now. So, spoiler warning if you haven't seen this week's episode, Shino might have actually died in this episode. There is the scene at the very end where he's getting ready to destroy Rustal's ship with this massive weapon, and just at the last second, Julieta actually manages to divert his attack. It barely misses the ship, and then Shino just goes in the blazes of glory. And basically, he's fired upon multiple times by the Dainslives, and basically his entire cockpit just sort of erupts in flames. Not to mention his arm is already broken. You see blood, you see the cockpit is open in the vacuum of space, but we don't see a body yet for Shino. There is still the small possibility that he is still alive. Either that, or he's just fucking worm food. It's made even more depressing by the fact that I think that Yamagi actually had feelings for Shino in a homosexual kind of way, which is kind of interesting. And I like the fact that at least they're going to use this sort of thing for the character. It doesn't feel too shoehorned in. It's a really weird scene, and I know a lot of people are going to interpret it in a number of different ways. Some people might just see it as someone losing a family member, someone being really close to their brother, but I honestly think that Yamagi was in love with Shino. That's just the way that I'm looking at it. And it made the scene all the more depressing considering that during all of this, you get to see that Yamagi is actually holding on to the bandages that he used to fix his arm, and you can see him clutching to them as hard as he can when he realizes that Shino has almost certainly been killed. This week's episode was just intense and filled with so much Mobile Suit action that it's worth rewatching a couple of times to miss some of the scenes that will immediately fly by. They're all just so freaking crazy. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans? This was a hardcore Mobile Suit battle, which pulls absolutely no punches and pulls everyone into this just ring of death. You never know who's gonna die, and considering that we have a good couple of episodes left, I have a feeling that this is just the beginning of the body count. A lot of people are probably gonna end up meeting their maker at this point, and to see Shino go down first is honestly kind of hard to watch, because he's the character who's always been more the lighthearted member of the crew. He's always brought a lot of levity to the group, and he's always just filled with so much energy that a lot of people are able to sort of just groove on. Now, it's like, now that he's gone, the laughter is gone. There's no more time for fun. It's all about seriousness here. It's all about being a man. And something about that is just strange. It's almost like they took the humanity out of Tekkadan by killing Shino. There's something about that I find really intriguing, especially during a lot of the scenes where Orga is actually trying to pump up his team by giving them all of these heartfelt speeches, and a lot of them don't even want to hear it. They're just really in it for the battle, like Akihiro, freaking Space Guts. Like, he's just not hearing any of this. He's just blasting away the entire episode. Mikazuki just wants the blind orders to keep on fighting. And they're all just going down hard. And all of this has to do with the fact that Rustall just has this massive fleet, and he happens to be a master tactician as well. Basically, leaving a lot of the Gallarhorn forces on McGillis' side just in complete disarray and utter destruction. Especially with the power of the Dainslife weapons, which, you know, despite the fact that they're basically just big, blunt weapons, they're incredibly destructive. And I love how they always display that. Showing scenes like giant mobile suits like crashing into the ships when they're actually shot by them, still managing to plow through these giant space weapons. It's just friggin' awesome. I really, really love it. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen, though. Like, I mean, things are not looking good for Tekkadan and Mcgillis. And speaking of Mcgillis, too, like, the Gundam Bale is really cool, but, like, compared to what I've seen from, like, Flauros and Barbados Lupus Rex and even Kimaris, it seems relatively normal. I'm interested to see why this thing is such a powerful weapon. I mean, it still has a cool design, being all regal and white and blue with the big golden swords and everything, but I still think there's going to be a little bit more to this mobile suit than we even realize, and I'm still waiting for that moment where Mcgillis is going to reveal his real plan, whatever the hell that's going to be. I just can't wait to see how they're going to wrap this one up. I can't tell if the heroes are going to come out on top or if it's all just going to end in sort of just some big, depressing massacre where everyone dies. All I know is if Shino was taken out this week, who knows what's going to happen. I have a feeling that Akihiro is probably going to be coming up next with a lot of the other favorite side characters from the series. On the technical side of things, this was a great looking episode. If you're looking for some just awesome raw mobile suit action, then you're going to love this one right here. There's just so many great moments, and it gives us a lot of teasing to show what they're going to do in the big finale of Iron-Blooded Orphans. So I loved this episode right here. I loved the animation, the fighting sequences. The death of Shino has me completely rocked. If he really is dead, I'm hoping that he is going to be alive so that him and Yamagi can go out and have a couple of drinks. Just a great episode right here, guys. I'm going to drop a solid 5 out of 5 on this one. This was a fantastic episode of Iron-Blooded Orphans, proving yet again that the second season has just completely blown away the first and been thoroughly entertaining throughout and leading to what is going to be probably one of the most depressing and memorable Gundam anime finales. So check it out, guys. If any of you did watch this week's episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Is Shino really dead? Or is he actually going to somehow survive this big, massive attack? Do you think any other major characters are going to die? And what are your predictions for the end of Iron-Blooded Orphans? Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all things Gundam related. Please leave me a comment or two. I'd love to chat with you guys. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like the video and share it with your friends. I'd really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.